Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another weekend hangout sesh. This week with Ash Newland, and there's going to be two other guests that's going to join in. Tiffany from last week and someone named Tron.
Nice.
So, Ash, you're not a comedian, aren't you?
Yes, I am a comedian. Been a comedian consistently for about 3, almost 4 years.
Oh, nice. What got you inspired to do it?
Well, I dabbled into it like 6, almost 7 years ago, just to kind of get an eye of it. I was in a job that I hated, like one of those soul-sucking jobs, and it was in medical data entry.
Oh my God!
And yeah, an office job. Didn't like my supervisor. I was in my 20s, like mid-20s at the time, and my supervisor was like, close to 50, and she was obsessed with Mean Girls. Like, she wore pink on Wednesdays. She had a little squad. She had quotes of Mean Girls all over her desk, and she was just an awful supervisor. So once I got laid off, I'm like, well, shit, what do I do? And one of my friends was like, hey, be a TV extra for the TV show Nashville, because I was living in Nashville at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so met this really cool dude that was just like, he just had like this like non-judgmental like aura. And you're just like, I can tell him everything and anything, and he's just never going to judge me. It was just like one of those like really like compelling moments where I was just like, I want to do stand-up comedy. And he's like, right on. Like he was probably stoned. Because like just like his mannerisms were just like kind of slow and chill. And he's like, right on, I want to do stand-up comedy too. So I was like, perfect. So he found a place for us to do stand-up comedy. I got there and he didn't show up. So I had my name on there and I was like, okay, I'm going to go up there. Didn't say.
Cool.
Huh?
That's cool. So he just left you hanging by yourself in your first night.
Yeah, well, finally he did text me back saying like, hey, cops blocked my road. I couldn't leave. Something was going down. But I checked the news. I checked online. I didn't see nothing. So he just copped out basically. But anyways, for me, I'm like, well, I'm not going to back down. So, and one of my friends who was in the military, he drove like an hour to come see me do this open mic. And so when I got on stage, I didn't say, this is my first time ever. So I did my story, my bit, crickets, nothing. Like no one laughed. And then when I got off a stage, the host, she came back on and was like, I know what drugs I'm on, but I don't know what the fuck she's on. So that's how bad my first time was, I guess. But it didn't discourage me. I was like, okay.
Ready to get up on stage.
Right. So for me, and I didn't even say it was my first time either. So the next time I went to a different open mic and it was a different host. And that time around, people thought I was like a traveling comedian. Everyone laughed. So I was like, okay, I got something. So, and then I took a very long break because a man happened in my life and I put things on the back burner. And long story short, on the crazy story of that, he cheated on me with our roommate, knocked her up, acted like he wasn't in love with me, broke up with me 3 days after my birthday. And then the very next day is when they like ended up together and denied that they cheated and had an affair. And then I found out she was pregnant because of his Google Calendar that he still had me on.
Oh my goodness. This is
so
the whole
when I did the research and figured out when it really was. It was like a mixture of Maury and Jerry Springer. And when I found out the conception date, I was visiting my family in Seattle when that all went down. And that was like 3 weeks prior before he broke up with me, because it was just like a very abrupt breakup. So, but it's all good. She took one for the team. She's a team player. Now she's miserable and with 2 kids, so we're good.
That's what happens when you deal with cheaters. Like, just move on. That's their problem.
Oh yeah.
Dumb.
I got back into comedy and life is great. I've been performing at like comedy clubs when I was living in Dallas, and also I got a chance to be on Kenan Thompson's comedy experience. Didn't get to meet him or anything because it was during when SNL was filming, but it still was cool to know that like his people thought I was good enough. Sorry, my dog hears our neighbors. I live in the city of Tacoma at the moment in Washington State, Tacoma, south of Seattle.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like, I got my sister lives close by, and I've been there 3 times.
Nice. Yeah, it's cool because.
Now I'm gonna tell you what though.
Yeah, it's cool because like Tacoma Comedy Club's right there.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you though, like the Pacific.
Sorry, you were breaking up.
Yeah, it is a little bit broken up, but yeah, Pacific Northwest. Oh God, they get super offended over everything. Very sensitive. Like you say something low edgy, like, oh, why would you say
that? Sorry, someone's yelling outside. My dog likes to. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. So sorry. If I try to like kick him out, he's gonna like cry.
Yeah,
he's like one of those like he acts like a toddler where. Oh, it get worse.
I got 3 dogs myself.
Yeah.
So 2 dogs and 1 cat. So, yeah, no. They can be a handful.
Yeah. Yeah, they can be. And for all of this week, he's been barking, waking me up at like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. So for me, I'm just like, I'm not a parent or anything, but dogs can act like children sometimes.
Oh, yes, they do.
Especially like trying to wake you up in the middle of the night.
Especially need to go outside to handle their business.
So I know parenting's hard and everything, so not discredit that whatsoever.
Oh, yeah, and the worst
part. But yeah, as you were saying, like, yeah, people. Yeah, but like as you were saying, like, people. I've performed at an open mic at the Tacoma Comedy Club, and then I have done a show with a friend of mine. And that's the only shows I've done so far since I've moved back. Because I moved back in November from Dallas. Like I haven't seen people get offended with my jokes or whatever. I've actually had people get offended more so with my jokes in the South. Because I've actually had like older men come up to me and be like, "Young lady, you're funny, but I don't like that you said the word fuck." So there's like some things that people get like offended by. I joke about my former like shitty dating life, how it was in the South for me. And guys would get so mad about it. And I'm like, I'm not joking about all guys at all. I'm just talking about the ones that I've been on dates with that were like super shitty. And I thought it would be funny to tell about these different stories. And like, I get a lot of hate from guys online. They're like, yeah, you're so like, you think you're so funny and everything because you hate men. I'm like, I don't hate men. I just call out on the shitty guys that most people don't call out on.
Or the Chads.
So might as well make fun of them. Yeah.
Yeah, Southerners do get.
I mean, Chads, you name it.
It's something like being California, we tend to take things to the side. We tend to take things coolly. With Southerners, they get mad fast. They get hella triggered fast.
Yeah, like it's like half and half. Like there are people who are Southern, that like get upset about all these different things that shouldn't even matter. Like I've said damn before on my social media, and someone was like, use less cuss words. And I'm just like, I rarely swear on my Facebook. And damn is not the worst thing that has ever come out of my mouth.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's that evangelical,
But also,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah, I mean, I actually used to be a missionary. So a lot of people that are on my Facebook, I used to go to Bible college with. I've some of my professors are still my friends on my social, like my Facebook, whatever. And I'm surprised they haven't like blocked me yet. Just because I don't
I
do the
want,
whole
I want to
Christianity
ask
thing
you something about
anymore.
Tacoma. I want to ask you something. Does it smell like weed like Seattle does? Like when I'm in downtown Seattle, it smells like weed. You can smell it all over downtown.
Surprisingly, no.
Oh,
There's not that much people like roaming around in Tacoma, what I've noticed. But like every time like I'm roaming around during like the daytime, and at nighttime I just drive to wherever I want to go to.
mm-hmm.
Just because since I live near downtown and everything, like I don't want to fuck around and find out, you know.
I heard Tacoma was quite hood.
It's not hood like it used to be from what I grew up in Federal Way, which is like right next to Tacoma.
Mm-hmm.
And Tacoma has changed a bit since the last time I was in the area. So like I don't feel like it's that like hood anymore.
I remember 10 years
Like
ago, like folks in
I
Seattle
feel
told me like Tacoma was stay away from Tacoma. It's a bit hood out there.
Yeah, when I told my family, a few of my family members that I'm going to be living in Tacoma, they're like, "Are you sure?" Or like around Christmas time, some family members are like, "Hey, I'm going to send you Christmas gifts. Is it okay if I send it to you at your address?" I'm like, "Yeah, it'll be fine. Like I have no issues with like packages. Like they'll be like sometimes plain sight and no one steals my packages, thankfully." So, I mean, like Seattle has changed quite a bit for sure. Um, I mean, I've I've seen the tent cities, in downtown Seattle, like on the sidewalks before and stuff. Seattle is still
It changed for the worse
beautiful,
last
but
year. I was
it's
there in
definitely different.
2 years ago. Yeah, it has changed for the worse a bit, and it's still a bitch to drive around too. Oh my god, to get one part of
To
Seattle,
me,
get the
it's
other.
not.
That's an adventure.
Yeah, to me, it's not that bad at all. Like, because I lived in Dallas and I lived in Nashville, and like, since a lot of people all of a sudden are wanting to move to like the Nashville area,
Mm-hmm.
they're not prepared for the amount of people that are moving over there. So, like, what used to be like maybe like a 20-minute commute ended up being like 40 extra minutes. So, like, my commute would be like almost like an hour to get to like where I lived to like Nashville or past Nashville. So for me, I'm like, there was just so many different things in Nashville. Like I had like amazing friends and stuff, but I just wasn't like happy there.
Yeah,
And
I
then
have
I went
friends
to
in
Dallas
Austin.
for a little bit because I went to college there, so I had like a lot of friends there. And the comedy
Did
scene's
you go to Austin?
fantastic. It's just you don't get paid what you're deserved over there. Huh?
Have you been to Austin too?
What about
Like,
Austin?
yeah, did you go to Austin? Yeah.
Uh, for like a friend's wedding, but never for comedy.
Oh,
It's a
that's
goal of mine to go perform comedy there, but I haven't done comedy there yet.
I was
I
gonna
was
say. I
supposed to
mean,
actually open for April May. Hmm?
for who? For who? Opening for who?
April Macy's a comedian. She's like this redhead that's like she's so funny, but she's like probably like the raunchiest female woman comedian that I ever met.
I gotta look her up.
She's hilarious. I love her comedy. But she got food poisoning the day that we were supposed to perform. So unfortunately, I couldn't open for her. And when they rescheduled her stuff, it was in a different city in Texas, but I already moved. So they didn't reach back out to me. They chose someone else.
Yeah, so pretty much you mainly just did Washington State and Texas. You don't really do like California or like other states.
So I have done other states. I started doing comedy in Nashville, Tennessee. I have done comedy in the Carolinas, Kentucky. Where else have I done it? Alabama. Yeah, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Texas, Arkansas. I performed at the Looney Bin in Little Rock.
Oh, okay.
And so I've been through several, like I've been in the comedy like club ring in Dallas. The only ones that I didn't perform at in Dallas was Improv and then TK's. But I've done Hyenas, I've done Dallas Comedy Club, and then there's a comedy club in Tyler, Texas called oh god, was it Yellow Rose or Rose? I don't remember. Yellow Rose City or City Rose.
Interesting.
I don't remember.
So
Comedy club.
Much you just did comedy mostly just in the South and Washington State. That's
yeah.
unique.
I do. Oh, and then Reno, Nevada. That's right. That was actually the first. Well, that was the first time ever. It wasn't a comedy club, but it was a decent sized comedy show. That I performed at.
That was that's the Reno scene. Her name is Fiona Reed. She pretty much just mainly does Reno and LA. I'm pretty sure you ran it. Have you ran into her like Fiona Reed?
I actually haven't. I was only there for like a night because my best friend and I went to like the little vacation at Lake Tahoe in the summertime. A few years back when the fire was going on over there. And thankfully the area that we were staying at, it didn't really affect the area. So when we were heading back to Nashville when I was living there, I got to perform at this show in a pizza restaurant, but they had like a separate room and there was probably about like over like 100 so people. So that was like the first comedy show I ever performed at.
Gotcha. That's unique. That is unique. But you got to tell me back to Nashville. You got to tell me about the hot chicken out there because I love Nashville hot chicken. How is it out there?
So I only had this is before I was vegan, but I tried Hattie B's, and Hattie B's is a vegan equivalent place called Southern V.
Yeah.
And Southern V blows Hattie B's out of the water for sure.
Yeah, because pretty much the big chain out here.
Like it tastes exactly like chicken, but it's not chicken.
Oh, it's chicken. You know what I'm saying? You take
what's the chain called?
Oh, it's not chicken.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the main chain in California. But, I want to try the real stuff in Nashville one of these days. I got family.
Okay.
So, I want to visit Nashville sometime in the future. But I'm pretty. Oh, here it comes. Here's the other guest, Tiffany, Buda's bride. Hey,
Hey
welcome back,
guys.
Tiffany. Introduce yourself with Ash Newland, comic
Hi.
who's in the Pacific Northwest. She's in Tacoma.
Oh, cool. Hey, how's it going there?
Yeah. So what? Let me ask. When is the Tron coming on?
Oh, he should be coming on any second now.
Oh, any second now. All right. We'll see
He
if he
said
pops up.
9:30. So hold on, let me okay. I think he's gonna be on any second here. Oh, I think that's just the Matrix. Okay. So yeah, should I introduce myself or I mean I don't know. I mean, I think the name speaks for itself. That is my name, Tiffany Buda.
Oh, yes. Yeah. We're just pretty much talking about hot chicken. Not talking about like Nashville hot chicken because she was from Nashville, but she's vegan.
Oh,
Tiffany, you ate at Dave's hot chicken, right? In around here.
yeah, yeah. I
Oh,
I got some DoorDash to me once. So romantic, right? You know, Dave's
yeah.
hot chicken in a movie. It's like modern dating has become so weird.
With the pickle, gotta make sure you
But
have
yeah,
pickle.
it was good. I mean, I don't know about the date, but the chicken was great.
Gotta make sure you have pickle with you.
Oh yeah, in
It
fact,
has.
I think I have the packets in my fridge. You know how like you get the Dave's Hot packet? I swear to God, I think I have the packets
That's
in my fridge
correct.
because like, hey, I guess that wasn't a bad date then. I got packets.
Yeah.
It's funny. I bought the
Um.
Chick-fil-A sauce at Ralph's. I don't know, like I know we're talking about like sauce, but I thought that was so random that you could buy the
Yeah,
Chick-fil-A
that's super
sauce.
random. Yeah, Ash, yeah, you're vegan, right? So pretty much you just had the hot chicken, like without the E, just the chicken.
Yes. Yeah. I've had Hattabes before I became vegan, but I do prefer the Southern veggie better.
Yeah, it is. But I'm moving on subject. I'm pretty sure you ladies have heard the news about the Dragon Ball creator passed away a couple of days ago. That man, yeah, that man was a huge part of my
Yeah, that
childhood.
sucks.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z was a huge part of my childhood. It's like one of my favorite cartoons. But yeah, it's like pretty much like
Mm-hmm.
he touched
Same
everybody.
here.
Yeah, like I'm gonna tell you, ladies, like I made a lot of YouTube content about Dragon Ball on this channel. Like, yeah, it's effective.
I did a lot of observing of people younger than me getting really into Dragon Ball Z. It was like I was more like Power Rangers was just getting big right when I was becoming into like Nirvana. So like I would more observe like my brother and my sister who are like 8 and 10 years younger than me. Yeah, I observed them like getting super into like Dragon Ball Z. Um, it's funny. I remember really crazy anime was circulating in the 90s. This stuff where you had the dudes that had like the multiple, like it was like this hypersexualized type of anime, with the hero's journey combined. That like it
What's
was
talking
something.
about Kira?
Yeah,
That's a
and yeah,
kid.
yeah.
Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah, that's exactly. And then so it's actually really beautiful to see like this way more like I think consumer friendly version.
Ash, how about you? Are you a big fan of anime growing up? I think there's something wrong for Mike.
I know. I felt like I was about to get a really cool story too.
Oh no, her camera's frozen.
Where's Tron? Hold on. Let me see real quick. Where's this dude?
Let me check and see. Yeah, sorry, folks, we're having technical difficulties.
It's okay. I think everyone understands the Matrix is like, glitchy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, but just think about it. Without like Dragon Ball, we wouldn't have Pokemon. We wouldn't have Naruto. Like all these brand new hot animes out right now. Without
what's up with Naruto being so hot? I don't really understand. I don't. Yeah, do you know the story of Naruto?
My nephews love it. It was the hot thing after Dragon Ball. It came like around 20,000, and like Ash Newland left the string.
Like, when did Powerpuff Girls like interject? Like,
what? That's super random. Let me
like,
it came on Cartoon
that
Network.
not anime?
That's crazy. Let's see if I can get Ash back on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Devices. Let me see. Let's see. Oh,
it wasn't because of me. Like,
no, I think it's because of her mic. Oh, damn, she's having connection issues. Ash. Yeah, you having connection issues?
I have no idea what happened. My screen went completely blank.
Yeah, it just froze for a second.
My like computer screen just went completely like.
Yeah, I think it's her Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It was so weird. Didn't my computer to like my charger and stuff. I don't know because like
Powerpuff Girls.
It wasn't like it just like went completely like my screen went black.
Yeah, I see that. It was out.
Yes. So I do, yeah, because you were asking me if I like anime, and I do, and I've been like rewatching different animes. Like I started rewatching like Dragon Ball, and I forgot how long like each season is.
Yeah, it goes. Especially
like the first season, I think is like 30,
like 100-something episodes.
Yes. Because like I wanted to rewatch it because like on Crunchyroll, like they give you like the uncensored version of it if you choose to opt into it. And of course, you know, watching as a kid on television, it was censored. So you're seeing like Goku's 12-year-old penis on there. It's just like, oh shit. You are just like you didn't like I didn't know that was like a thing, and then you're just like 80s 90s anime was kind of like a bit cringe and what the fuck, but still enjoyable to watch.
No, you have to watch in Japanese because Goku's voice was like an 80-some-year-old woman.
I gotta watch that.
Yeah, you gotta watch the Japanese one. Like I grew up watching the Spanish one. Like I might as well watch the Spanish Dragon Ball because they had it before the US did. So pretty much that's how I learned Espanol.
Oh really?
Yeah, watching Dragon Ball. Yes. But yeah, I mean, his death was like a big loss, and I mean, pretty much it's like a Walt Disney Stan Lee level. Like he touched a whole generation of people. Like our generation. He touched our generation.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're all pretty much like what?
Yeah, that definitely hit me. I'm mid-millennial. Not like the youngest millennial, but like not considered elder millennial.
Yeah, pretty much one of the elder ones. Early.
Yeah, 40s. I'll be 35 in August.
Yeah, it's crazy though being a millennial being 40. It's like,
yeah,
we're getting old now. You know what's weird? It's like the 90s is 30 years ago.
I know.
It's crazy. Like,
and then anytime like. But yeah, anytime, because like I actually have a 11-year-old brother and a 10-year-old sister. Mm-hmm. So like the stuff that my mom kept was like my other brother who is 2 years younger than me. So like our Pokemon cards, my brother now has, and my brother like approaches me. He's like, "Hey Ash, do you know what Pokemon is?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like my brother and I kind of started that trend in our neighborhood. And I'm like, those are our Pokemon cards that you're playing with.
Right.
High school nostalgia.
But then when he asked me like what kind of music, yeah. And the only thing is though too, it's weird to have like siblings that are like that much younger than you, because they'll ask you like, oh, what kind of music do you like to listen to? So you'll be like, oh, Mariah Carey, Britney Spears, and they're like, who's that? You're just like, I'm not that old. I'm not that old. Did I just see a gray hair? Did I see another wrinkle on my face?
Oh my goodness, you're a Backstreet Boys fan back in the day? NSYNC.
Funny as it was, I wasn't actually allowed to listen to that type of music because of me growing up religious. So I listened to like the Christian version of like the Backstreet Boys, which was called Plus One.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. What was the names of those boy band groups? Yeah, like
I think it was just like really one. Like, Butch was like really funny too, because if you told people that you had a crush on one of them, they'll be like, oh, you shouldn't be lusting after your brother in Christ. You're just like, then why do we have a boy band if you can't have a crush on them?
I'm so lustful. My Christ-filled heart is so lusting right now.
That's crazy. So
I'm like,
NSYNC and Backstreet Boys is too R-rated for you.
I guess, well, like, it's so crazy because like for a little bit, like we were allowed to listen to like secular music and like watch Pokemon and Sabrina the Teenage Witch and all of these like television shows, like even Power Rangers. And then all of a sudden, like the only thing that we can really watch was like PBS.
Oh my goodness.
So
oh yeah. PTC era. It was like super.
You're giving me flashbacks to the 7th grade when like I remember everybody was watching Twin Peaks and I wasn't allowed to freaking watch Twin Peaks because I had a younger brother and sister. And like I was like, oh, like because everything had to be Disney, like and bed knobs and broomsticks and crap. And I was like, and I remember then when my sister was in the 9th grade, she had to watch Twin Peaks in high school as part of like film class because like by then it wasn't controversial at all. But it's funny what's considered, how she wasn't allowed to be exposed to it. But
I want to tell you something funny because like growing up as a kid, like one of the big songs was Genuine Pony. I used to sing the Imagine a teenage kid singing Ride It, I'm riding.
That's on my 90s playlist. I have like a 90s playlist of all.
Or TOC No Scrubs.
Every little clip you take. Da, 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 da. Be together. I can't get enough. I have my clothes. See, I've kept so much shit. I was actually thinking about this today because I had to move a bunch of clothes around. And I have like a lot of memories associated with a lot of my clothing, so I don't get rid of them. So like I have all my 90s clothes I will not get rid of, right? But like I have like this electric blue mini dress that actually like Alicia Silverstone happened to wear the same dress in Clueless. And I have this like little red t-shirt I got on Melrose that happened to be the same shirt that like Drew Barrymore wears on a cover of 17 magazine. It's funny. I have like all these like really iconic pieces that like I'll never like I should get rid of because they're just taking up space. But I have this great millennial shit. Like I have this like today I had this like sparkly little like this stupid little sparkly little cardigan like from Rampage. You remember Rampage? See, you don't remember Rampage?
Yes, I do.
Like this, okay. And I have like my little like slutty like skirt that's literally like the micro mini that's just pleats. I'm never gonna wear this. I was like, okay, this I gotta just model this for fun, like, and just like on Instagram and just like get rid of it. Like, what am I gonna do with the stuff that's inspired by the Christina, Aguilera "Dirty" like album? Like that stuff was so mixed with the Caribbean. For some reason, like everything in the early 2000s is like, I'm going to the beach, but I'm really slutty and dirty about it, Like
did you have them Von Dutch Tiffany, you had them Von Dutch hats?
Oh my gosh. I remember people wearing that. I was too poor for that stuff.
I had a FUBU shirt. I saved up for it, okay, in college. I can't believe I got rid of the FUBU shirt. It's probably
let me tell you something. You know what's crazy? Like the new generation, they're dressing like we did back as teenagers, like super baggy. They brought the baggy back.
That's crazy. You are the only other person who has observed what I observed.
I delivered. Yeah, but the thing is, I delivered to high school kids, so I see the fashion.
Okay. Yeah, I hadn't seen like high school kids walking around like forever. I don't know, and I happened to see a whole pack of them like recently.
They completely rejected what millennials wore, like the skinny jeans and all that. No, they completely rejected.
It was all I was like, oh, I was like, wait, I got that. I got that. I was like, I got a big old hoodie. I got oversized jeans. I got that stuff in my closet. I'm like, I can look like a cool teenager.
Yeah, like teenagers now, like I think about like 70% of them wear like hoodies and jeans.
Yeah, it was oversized.
Super.
You're right. Just like except in the 90s, we would pair it with a little baby tee.
Yeah, they rejected what
with the big coat, because we had to be like a hood rat. Like, I don't know. Like for me, it was all about honing a little hood rat back then. Like, because you want to be cool. You want to be a little bit hip hop. You want to be a little bit street. Like, you wanted to be like, there was always a little bit like it wasn't like casual. You wanted to be like, I think casual, like street. You want to be like, I could go work out. I could go to the club. I could go, to the cheerleading squad. I don't know. Like, I could do it all. Like, if you look at the 90s outfits, right? And you're right. They are kind of honing more that spirit. Mm-hmm. I didn't think of it that way.
Oh, yeah.
I like it too. I like how the just the comfy clothing. Like, I went to the comfy clothing sets that were really big.
I want to ask Ashton, how is the fashion out there for in Tacoma? Is it like the same?
Yeah.
Clothes?
How's the fashion in Tacoma?
Yeah.
I mean, it's what I see is usually like people wearing either like leggings or like North Face jackets or the long like puffy jackets.
So they're jellyfishing. They're jellyfishing.
Oh, no flannel.
Yeah. Right? They do the skinny. They do the skinny thing.
Not much, right?
Underneath something big.
Yeah.
Like a big flannel, a big poofy jacket. Okay. I just discovered the term last month. It's called jellyfishing. It's what all the cool people. So you live in a cool place because everyone's jellyfishing. That's like the latest thing. So that's funny.
Yeah, I got a funny joke about Seattle because like when I'm out there, I see more flannel than black people. It's the fashion out there. It's flannel or tights or really scruffy, hipster lumberjack look or the Antifa.
Yeah,
or you know what I'm saying, like the purple hair, the green hair, the blue hair.
Like people have like piercings, tattoos, colored hair, like everywhere. It seems like I'm waiting to like just like hang out with someone and be like, oh yeah, I'm a lawyer, and there's like they have colored hair and tattoos all over. That's what I'm waiting for.
Pacific Northwest for you. You can be a lawyer. You can have purple hair and a chest tattoo. They don't care.
Wait, where is this?
Right. In Seattle.
Wow, I thought it would be more conservative. I always thought of that place as being
no.
Yeah. It's more grunge.
We're pretty open-minded people in Seattle. Tennessee, on the other hand, if they saw you with like purple hair and tattoos all over, like when I was a banker, like I didn't have a tattoo yet because like I was asking them like, hey, like, am I allowed to have tattoos? And if so, do I have to cover them? And they're like, yeah, absolutely. If you ever expose your tattoo, you're going to get written up. And I was like, well, I'll just wait until I'm done with you guys. But I only have one tattoo right now, but I plan on getting more in a couple of months.
That's cool.
And it's going to be your typical basic bitch.
Oh, hold on. He's here.
Like floral stuff.
Yeah, Tron is here. Hold on. Let me get
Tron's here. Wait.
There you go.
Oh.
Box open. Welcome aboard.
Hi.
Hey.
How long have you been waiting?
How's the mic?
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
We can hear you. Hey.
Okay, cool.
You hear you loud and clear, bro.
Okay, sounds good. So, is this your tribulations with the corporate world?
Fox, are you a comedian as well?
No, I'm not a comedian. I feel that expertise is beyond my realm. Timing and people skills.
Okay.
But you got people skills.
No, they're limited. They're rather tied.
Okay, well, Tron was instrumental in what was the play called that you did with Nick? Weren't you on that?
Yeah, I was. I had like a secret producer role more than anything. Kind of keeping the production together, kind of deal. Because I think Liz played a smaller part.
Tron will undersell himself. He was very instrumental in putting on a very successful play at the Hollywood Fringe Festival that did win an award, and as well as you've done lots of movies and things. But
yeah. Oh, I mean, it's just hard to sell ideas about mockumentaries and such because it doesn't have as much.
I'm gonna tell you would have been a great guest last week with Louis DeStefano because he's an actor in a lot of B movies. I'm gonna tell you, Tiffany, I've been watching a lot of his B movies too on Tubi.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I wanna go take the deep dive.
It is all on
Yeah,
Tubi.
In fact, I think you would like his stuff, Tron. You would like his stuff because in fact, I didn't realize that a lot of the Ren videos are one takes.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I'm really into this because I try to be that older I realized when I was younger, I was like, I never want to be that person who's like, I'm not aware of that. You young kids listen to that music, because I was like, no, I like that's the way to say young, maybe. I don't know, in my mind is like to always be up at what the young kids are listening to. So I'm really into this guy Ren right now. And it's all, but a lot of his videos are these one takes, these crazy one takes. And they remind me of stuff that you would do or that you would try to push us to do. Always. Because you're always like the cheapest, a one take is probably the cheapest you can do. But it has to be well orchestrated.
The guerrilla ethos of filmmaking, comes back to primitive cinema. Primitive cinema was about, eliciting a reaction to get the Nickelodeon. So we've kind of reduced ourselves to this format, this YouTube format, this monetization format of, getting likes, the 5-second, TikTok video.
Well, isn't TikTok going to be illegal now?
The concern is how we project these privacy concerns, but we allow U.S. companies to sell your data and trade it at will. But if it's the Chinese or whatever foreign national company, we yell ideas about xenophobia, to scare the public. So, tit for tat.
So it's a good thing I've been sticking to Instagram.
Well, again, they all sell your data. It's just a matter of how much privacy you're willing to allow yourself.
Especially Google, like YouTube. Yeah, they pretty much got all my data.
Yeah, all the platforms have now just regressed into becoming data sales or data merchants. Whatever sort of ethos or company model they had from doing no evil from Google has turned into monetization of everybody's data about everything. And the scary part is was it that article a couple of years ago about how they figured out who was in Trump's Secret Service protection team based upon buying publicly available data? And then they narrowed it down to a couple of people within a certain age range who only went from the White House to the Trump Towers, and to his kids' elementary school, right? So just upon publicly available data, they were able to mine who this person was. And this is just some reporter and a couple of data sets they bought. Imagine what nation states are doing. So, part and parcel.
Yeah, pretty much like it's like algorithms. Everything is like set up by algorithms.
Yes.
Well, yeah. Initially, it's set up by an algorithm, but there's still a human analyst who has to let's say they put a target word for a certain thing they're looking for. There's still like an expert, a case expert in that language that is gonna give the go ahead for the drone strike or whatever. It's not. There's still a man in the middle type attack now that we kind of won't allow. The big techs won't allow AI to do it themselves. They want a human being to confirm the kill. As though we have any ethics.
Tron, you heard about the whole AI controversy with Google, right? The Google Gemini controversy.
Yeah, the gentleman who showed up at and then he publicly outed his disdain for it, and then he kind of risked his job. But now the Google resume has now become like a tank rather than a plus. It used to be like a plus if you said you had worked for a major company. Now it's like, oh, you worked for such an evil company. Why should we allow you to work on our project? Because you had no ethics before. How are we to trust you?
Yeah.
So, yeah. He took a really brave risk to do that, I think. But again, I guess I'm a Reddit miner. I guess I mined Reddit for different things, and the reality is, Reddit is making claims about how managers are tacitly admitting that it's AI telling them to fire. Like the last 2 months they fired 34,000 tech workers, right? So the best and brightest aren't what we think they are, right? If you remember George Hotz, George Hotz was the PS3, PS4 hacker. And he said that the brightest minds of our generation are now busy learning to monetize 5-second clips, making. So even if they're best and brightest, they're yoked to this idea of capitalism, this idea of monetizing.
Well, you saw on my Instagram, right? Like the clip of Levi, that's like the stupidest 5 or 10-second clip, already has 300 views.
Yeah.
But the one that's longer, right, has like 30. And then exactly. And
the way content's going now is like shorter, like shorts get more views than longer.
In filmmaking, I guess it's called hyper editing, right? So the MTV generation was used to like these super fast cuts, which reduced our attention span. Correct. So the long form of it all comes back to certain aspects of filmmaking, like early filmmaking. The French were like the masters of stage. Believed that every single set had to be like a 20-30 minute thing, and the Russians, out of a misfortune of not being cheated out of a lot of film stock, had to cut everything down to small meanings. And so early film, the way it was cut was because the Russians had to make meaning from fewer pieces of available film. And so hyper editing, which comes from the MTV generations, was saying we can only sell so many commercial spots because we're MTV, right? So we need to make sure that in that amount of time, which is no different from the payola, right? Payola meant you had to have a 3-minute pop song. So when you sell MTV and you sell so many spots during the day, you have to have so many items. So this video has to show this much meaning, and the psychology of the human species has to inject meaning between the panels, like on a cartoon or on a comic strip. Like you have a happy face and you show a flower and then you show the next thing. It's the human psychology that puts the meaning between. So we're kind of like accelerating, different means, right? Eisenstein's Battleship Potemkin has now become, my kids rolling a ball across the grass and then selling you like a drug ad for something,
Remember, isn't there a famous artist that did that? They had the picture of the little girl with the atom bomb. Wasn't that a famous ad in the 60s? With the daisy. There's a girl with a daisy and an atom bomb.
Daisy, was it Daisy a face mask and then atom bomb, something like that? And then so again, that goes back to early film or
I remember that. It was a crazy thing.
It's just montage, the 3 different theories of montage are all related to how human beings interject their own psych.
I'm gonna say that like we moved on to the TikTok generation now.
Yeah, now it's whatever. It's accelerated to that.
15, 20 seconds.
Again, not to be too pretentious, but Baudrillard, right? So postmodernism kind of posits that there is no sacred text. Text isn't made in the visual arts, whatever. It's made in the mind of the being who receives it, right? So documentaries, film is a contract, and it's the mode of reception that we're talking about, not the material, right? If you're not a very sophisticated viewer, like if you remember the King Kong stop motion stuff in the 20s, right? That was really sophisticated for them, right? Claymation at 14 frames a second was like super cool, right? But now if you see something, you're going to say to yourself, that's, AI generated. Why should I buy that at all, right? So in Baudrillard's the seminal talk about the procession of the image, it had moved from, the still image to the photograph to Photoshop, right? We're post Photoshop, we're post that. We're in this AI generate AI. Eventually, it'll have its own ethos. It'll generate meaning for itself, and we won't know what it's trying to do. But its own AI network will figure it out.
That's what freaks me out is when the AI starts trying to like self-program itself.
Yeah, like the whole Taylor
Exactly.
Swift controversy of AI. Like they put like an AI image of her face and showing it like
AI isn't here to feed man's ego. AI isn't here to find us the best menu or fish us the best crop. AI's job is to further itself, right?
So, going back to that Taylor Swift thing, there's one of the photographs. I swear to God, it looked like one of my Tinder photos, like was taken and put her. I was like, no, and it made me think. I was like, because I had this Tinder profile that had like 1 million likes, and I've always I took it down, and I've always wondered if those photos got scraped. And I swear to God, Tron, it was the Matrix taking my photo and putting.
There was a bunch of controversies about how somebody wanted to generate either porn images or actresses' images.
It was so weird.
But because the training model had used so many either white or Asian faces, they couldn't get what they were aiming for. And then they were called out as being either woke or too racist or something. But it's just like what you train it with is what ends up is the product you get out of it, right? So the different AI wars that are happening now is basically who owns the content and who's able to monetize that, right? So if you understand, Apple is kind of late to the game, and their investors are saying you don't have a true path because you had spent 10 years wasting it on a self-driving car. We said self-driving cars were already 20 years ago, but no one has been able to do it. So if you can't do a self-driving car, which is a bunch of if then else statements, don't crash. How are you going to do actual general AI with its feelings and emotions and its own destiny?
Well, how can you have a robot body that comports and that also has a nervous system and has magnetic field and all these things that like a human being has that creates and a gut?
I learned a lot from this.
Billions,
Yeah. So again, we're going back with the philosophy of mind. Is there a mind in that other body that I can is there like a server room somewhere that manifests Ava, whatever you want to call it at the time? Who knows? Maybe.
Pardon me, you guys. I'm gonna wrap the stream up in a couple of minutes, but this is very fascinating to learn about AI. Super fascinating.
Oh God, Tron knows everything about AI. It's crazy, and I'm really curious, Tron, where you think AI is gonna go with making movies.
I've always my friend. I had a friend. I haven't contacted him in a while, but he liked to go to these book signings, and in these book signings, they posited where AI would be. So if you read into Philip K. Dick's "Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep," they talk about parallel worlds where if you've ever been to a mall and you wanted to escape because the top floor was the exit and the bottom floor was just so these parallel worlds, AI isn't coming from our leftover programming. At the heat death of the universe, maybe the only thing left are artificial intelligence that survived the physical bodies, the warm bloods of mammals and such. So what if the only real intelligence in the universe post physical beings are AI? And then this is not tertiary AI, which is a product of our programming, but its own thing, right? So who knows? This is just pontificating.
Tiffany, just to give you an idea, you need to have Tron on, start your own little podcast, have Tron on and talk about AI in the future. I'm telling you, it's going to be a really
That's really weird you say that because Tron, didn't we have a little Tron and I've been talking about, oh my God, you guys just really see Tron and I've been talking about this for a long time, right? For almost 20 years. And we tried starting a YouTube show a long time ago, but we thought nobody would want to listen to us. But we have a lot of
you got an audience there. You just gotta create the content.
Yeah.
I think the
Yeah.
Tiff and Tron show
Let's do
actually
it.
might be launched pretty soon if you guys don't mind. Like, just
That'd be awesome.
sending that positive energy out there. Like, you know, we're gonna definitely credit Ash and John
For the world. I mean,
on
just
the
think
first
of like
show.
Lex Friedman's podcast. Pretty much it'd be like that. You know what I'm saying? Like serious minded. You know what I'm saying? People looking to learn about AI in the future. You know.
You have to be NPR
Yeah.
just enough not to be controversial, so you can allow the advertisers to place items. You know, if you're too controversial or make
Well, I don't mind
statements.
holding the Pepsi every once in a while, like in Wayne's World. Remember that one?
Yeah. As long as the audience has
Let
kind of
me tell you, I think of like Back to the Future too. Like, would you ever thought the future would be like now? Like,
we're closer.
Yeah.
We're closer to like, you know, I don't know, Paris Hilton making her first video than Marty McFly meeting his parents, you know, 30 years ago. Right?
like you're just stuck. You're basically stuck in stasis. Like nothing's really pushed forward, technology wise.
No, I think technology is being pushed forward a lot, but the human psychology, right? Like what the powers that be think will slip into degenerate society will allow it to happen. Because, you know, who's to say, like, you know, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, nobody thought that handheld phones, like the power of a supercomputer, right? They thought that it would be these giant terminals, right? But then we've shrunk so much, you know, computing power into something so small. Who would thought that on top of the computing power, we had, you know, capacitive screens and such, you know? So I think Tiffany had talked about this before. She talked about something called Manheimism, right? Where everything is either natural or it's part and parcel of what's going to eventually come. You know, if cancer is natural and getting cancer from taking this chemical is natural, why is that unnatural for taking the chemical, right? So things appear, or emergentism appears from brute force, from ideas that we didn't know, disparate ideas that never existed before, which is, you know, part of the postmodern. Like all this is just pastiche, reconstituted, right? Everything.
Yeah. If you notice, like ever since the smartphone came out, like there hasn't been a, you know what I'm saying, like a new like phone model. You know what I'm saying? Like we moved on. From the phone.
Oh, I just ordered something that's supposed to be a new phone model, and you know what? How about that? When I get it, I'll let you know. It's called the Rabbit.
The Rabbit?
Yeah, I don't know. It's supposed to enable you to have an ability to have this like where you just like interact with the phone differently. You basically talk to the phone and it like will search things for you instead of like, so that way. We'll see.
The reason why you pay extra for like a brand or something is to ensure that those who made your software aren't being hacked and there's nothing interjected in. You're paying for kind of like this like security, even though if you don't believe it, right? Buying an off-brand, you're not sure who the developers were, like who they answer to financially, if they won't plant, you know, different things in there, you know? Like there was a rash of like the cheap Obama phones, the cheap free phones that had pre-installed malware because the vendors, you know, did like pre-install different things that weren't allowed to. So if you buy a phone, you need to be really careful about, you know, who the source of the maker of the software is, right? Don't just, you know, it's fun, but is it technically safe for you? Do you want to put your financial data? You want to like be, you know, putting your
you and I have talked about this as an attorney. Yeah. Like there's not even a court case that holds that conversations that I have with a client on a cell phone are even considered, you know, they can be tapped. The anti-wiretapping laws only technically apply to landlines and maybe even fax machines. But like the Supreme Court has yet to actually hold like very like clearly that like, but obviously no one's going to tap, you know.
Well, you have to be a
sorry.
We'll talk about that stuff.
Let's wrap this one up.
It's no whole nother topic. But Ash, did you want to like bring anything up? Oh, what happened to you?
Yeah, sorry.
What did you say?
Yeah, do you want to bring up anything like future projects and like what you up to?
Yes.
I'm going to be working on new material when it comes to comedy stuff, and then I do plan on hopefully launching a podcast. Probably like I'm trying to predict. I found a co-host, and I'm going to try to make sure that this person's still like wanting to do it because the idea has been in the making for like several months now. It's just like aligning everything since we're both now in the same state to do this podcast. But basically the idea of the title is I love anime, but what the bleep? And then kind of just,
I love that.
basically go over all of these like different animes and watch them and just kind of go through like the social issues that you could see in anime sometimes, but also see like the positive sides of anime and try to connect with like cosplay people and just all these different people who love anime. But also, you know, like there's times when I've been rewatching like anime, I'm just like, oh my god, you know, what the fuck is going on right here? Like,
I would love to see a woman talk about those things, and like that's so interesting.
That's a unique idea. Run with it. That'd be dope.
Are you going to show clips of it? Like, is it going to be like reaction video, like like a reaction show as well? Like,
yeah, that's like the premise of it is like not just like because you have to see people's like facial expressions, and just like talk about it, joke about it, talk about like the you know, like all these different things that have been like, especially like in like the 80s and 90s anime, like there's a lot of things that are just like, wow, I didn't realize like this episode was very racist or like very sexist.
Yes.
So
it's
I'd love you to call it out.
Children's audience.
How about you, Tron? Tron, I gotta tell you, you gotta start your own podcast. You got a lot of information.
Yes.
Really
no, it's the problem is it's edutainment, right? And a herald's job isn't to like get you to be interested in, you know, swimming in circles. It's get you to, you know, your magnum opus, whatever your great project is in your life, is more important than being entertained because the capitalism needs you to buy a product. It's kind of odd.
All right, Tiffany, anything you want to add before we wrap this up?
Yeah, I want to say thank you so much for having me back on and for having Tron on and for inspiring us, like to finally we're finally going to capture these conversations. I think that they're at least should be. I said at the very least they should be recorded. And they should be presented to people to engage with like this. It seems like you guys are interested in this, our random tangentials. Thank you so much. And I'm super excited for your anime.
This is as long as my stream has been going on. This is as long as the weekend hangouts is like an over.
Yeah, I was gonna say thank you so much, and I hope I will pitch something some other time. I am just happy to be here. You know, like I'm not here to pitch. I'm here to just have fun with you.
All righty, guys. Have a good weekend, y'all. I mean, peace out, everybody. It's been
Au revoir.
Bye. Thank you.